Kobe really signified to me the beginning of a lot of messed up stuff, because it was like Kobe happened, then the pandemic started, and then Shad Gaspard happened. And like I always look back to those three things as the start of, wow, like a roller coaster ride of all of that.
But those are three like big things that anybody can look at and go, wow, those are three unfortunate things. For you, those were three pretty personal things that in a time when we really couldn't hang out with other people or travel, or for you, do your job, that must have been tough.
Yeah, it was really tough. And it was weird because it was so different. Like Kobe was like, somebody obviously looked up to very much, but didn't know personally. So like it hurt, but it hurt in such a different way from Shad, who I did know personally, who was like a brother. And like, I'm not trying to compare or anything. It's just like,
well, they're both losses.
Yeah, it's just, but they're very different losses too, but they both hurt like, a lot.
Yeah.
And so, it was a really tough time. It was nice that a lot of people were able to come out for his funeral, even despite the circumstances, and being able to see, like Carly and Shelton and Mickey James. And there was a lot of us out here. So that was nice, but it was just a weird time. I mean, especially like the Shad story, for instance. I mean, both of them, think about it, like Kobe in a helicopter, like, oh my God. And then Shad, a beach day. Like people like a beach day, nobody dies on a beach day. It's just like, it's crazy.
And he saves his son's life. Like that's the part that's.
Well, I mean, he died a legend because of that too. And like the thing is he invited me to the beach like a week before that, to hang out. So like that's why and I lived very close by. I lived literally just a couple blocks east of where he was at. So like I remember being out there and being very close to it in Marina Del Rey, which was very close. And then they hadn't found his body yet, and just waking up in the morning to walk the dog and just remembering like, God, my friend's just out there. And like, I literally did walks on my own with various people who were coming to the area. Like John Morrison came out and Kira, and we did a walk on the beach, and we were just like, if nobody, cause they wouldn't do the search 24/7, but like, you'd almost feel like a responsibility as a friend. It's like, well, we should just walk out there. I mean, it'd be scary obviously to find him, but like, it would also be hurtful to know that like we're that close and we're not at least on the beach looking, taking a walk down the beach in case, you know what I mean? So
what's your favorite Shad memory or Shad story?
Oh my gosh. You're putting me on the spot with that one.
But everybody just talks about like, he had this energy about him, and he was always just like a larger than life character.
Well, and that's what it was. He was like a brother. He really was like a brother to us. Like, cause any one of his brothers will tell you, like, he could annoy a lot of us, but like, he was exactly what you said. Like, he was always upbeat, always positive. Like, he was the guy, like I remember walking into the gym with Matt Seidel one time, and, we're very much on our zen, just getting ready to work out. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and this was very typical of Shad. Shad comes from behind and bear hugs Seidel and lifts him up into the air. And, again, Seidel's on his zen, so he's not really feeling this kind of treatment out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's kind of rocking his world a little bit. So, and Shad would do this stuff all the time. And that, like, and so, after Shad passed, I remember looking back at some of the stuff, and like, sometimes, like, I'd always see him at the gym, and I'd be like kind of annoyed because it's like, man, I just want to work out. He's going to want to chat. And I'm like, I just want to train.
Yeah.
But like, again, every time he came around, he was always so positive. He was always smiling. He was always upbeat. He was always so enthusiastic about the stuff he had going on, which again, that kind of drove me crazy because it was such an LA thing. I'm like, I didn't ask you all of that, man. I'm just trying to work out. But it's funny how you look back at certain things and you're like, something that might have annoyed you in the moment. It's like, well, shit, man, he was that enthusiastic about what he had going on, man. Yeah. There's a lesson there.
I don't know if I've even talked about this, but I was supposed to interview him like 2 or 3 weeks before he passed away. I was in LA right before I moved here, and we were setting it up, and our schedules just didn't click. And if I could have made that happen, I would have. And I just feel like a real sense of like regret. Like that could have been such an incredible conversation. I wish I could have been able to share that with him, but I truly feel like everything does happen for a reason.
Yeah, it's one of those things like when you said it and it didn't happen. It was just like, well, what can you do? You would have
Wasn't
never,
meant to happen.
yeah, you would never have anticipated. And like the thing is yeah, Shad could have told you a lot, but man, Shad's actions before he passed told everybody kind of really what they need to know. I mean, you could always look further, but like his heroic actions and like that kind of tells you the character of him and how, he wasn't a selfish guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, so even though you didn't get to sit down with him, I think, his story will be told for generations.